I'm Sherelle Roberts, and welcome into today's episode of Let's Talk Kentucky. And we are joined today by the Let's Talk team. It's Susan Mills, Kim Dixon, and Katie Cooley is in today for Lisa. Hi. Hey, Katie.
Hi.
Hey. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Good. We are so glad to have you here today. And so for the folks who may not know you at home, Katie, she is a TV pro, but she's also a mom, an interior decorator. She does all kinds of things. So Katie, tell the folks a little bit about yourself and, you know, what you do in Kentucky.
I live in Versailles, and I'm married almost 10 years, and I have an 8-year-old daughter, work in finance, and I have an interior design company.
Okay, and so one of the things we were talking about before we got in here is you are very good at taking things that look quite normal and turning them into something amazing.
I do like to find dupes. So, like, for example, there's the real popular Pottery Barn lamp that looks like pottery. And I went to Goodwill and I found these horrible, like, aqua blue lamps, spray painted it with a matte white and smeared joint compound all over it. And then garden lime, again, $5 at Lowe's, mixed with water, and you dab it on there and it gives it that kind of aged brown, like, it looks awesome, and it looks exactly like it, and it was $5.
And it's a lot more fun to make it yourself and customize it to what you want. I bet.
Yeah.
So you could probably pull your daughter in for some of those projects too, right?
It's
like
just
arts and
smearing
crafts.
it. Yeah, you smear it, and your fingerprints can be on there, whatever.
I love it.
I heard that your work looks amazing. Mine would literally just look like a smear. So I'm going to leave that to you. All right, everybody. So here's what's going on in the Talk of the Town. We like to start every show by talking about what's going on. And the Talk of the Town this week, it is Craft Beer Week in Lexington. This is one of the most popular foodie events for our folks, and it begins May 12th, and there are beers all over town that you can try at breweries all over town. Guys, this is like a thing. We had Coffee and Tea Week. Now it's Craft Beer Week.
It is beverage time.
People are thirsty.
They are. You know, so I'm not necessarily like a beer drinker, but I think it's really cool how they have things that taste fruity. I've seen creamsicle, and the names are all kind of fun too.
They're fun, and it's a way to support local businesses too, which is really
Especially
important.
this time of year when you can sit out on a patio, it's getting warm, and it's like beer on a patio, except I don't really like craft beer. I'm kind of a domestic, so I always say, what's your most domestic tasting one?
So you know what I think for this, obviously this is a show that we gear towards the ladies, and listen, I'm a champagne gal, I'm not gonna lie, I'm a champagne gal. But if you're looking for something to do as a fun date night, this Craft Beer Week is gonna be going all week. So definitely something that folks can get into. Well, Katie, we are so glad to have you here. You are getting your baptism by fire. We're getting ready to go into the countdown convo after this. So everybody stay with us. Coming up after the break, a growing number of young people say it's more important to be tan than getting cancer. Let's talk about it after the break.
Hi, my name is Dan Packard. I was on my way to work, and the gentleman behind me hit me. We called Morgan & Morgan. From that moment on, everything else Morgan & Morgan took care of. They emailed us all the time. They constantly stayed in touch with us.
We have been really blessed to have them in our corner, and it really did feel like family.
Morgan & Morgan did it all with literally one phone call.
Hi, this is Joseph with Rapid Fire Home Buyers. Do you have a house that's costing you too much time and money? Maybe a rental house, an inherited house you don't know what to do with, or the house you're living in that you just can't keep up with. We buy property in any condition and any price range all over the Southeast. Sell your house as is for cash with no repairs, no fees, and no commissions. If you're even thinking of selling your house, before you call a realtor, give us a call for a free cash offer. Call 859-695-3875.
For top-of-the-line auto care, for your exotic and vintage vehicles, you need Stugart Motors. The Stugart family has been Lexington's #1 exotic car repair facility for over 45 years, and we're not stopping anytime soon. Come see Chris at Broadway or Sean at West Main for specialized and dedicated automotive experience. We believe high-quality cars deserve high-quality care. Get that care at Stugart Motors. 859-255-7424.
They've been your solid rock. As they reach their golden years, the security and care they gave you has now come full circle. When a decision is made to trust their care to outside sources, being betrayed by the caregiver is overwhelming. Dale Golden and Laura Clay Parker have built a team who fights corporate wrongdoing in the healthcare system. There's no excuse for senior living abuse. Schedule a free case consultation. Your advocate, Golden Law.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Let's Talk Kentucky. I'm your host, Sherelle Roberts, back with the Let's Talk team. Susan Mills, Kim Dixon, and Katie Cooley is in for Lisa High. It is time for the countdown conversation. I feel like we need a big drum roll. This is the part of the show where we talk about as many topics as we can in 6 minutes. Ladies, are you ready?
Ready.
Let's do this.
Okay, so a new survey of 20-somethings, our Gen Z buddies, say that they are more concerned about tanning. 20% of them say they are more concerned about tanning than they are about getting skin cancer. Yikes. Yikes, yikes, yikes.
Well, when we're younger, I think we're invincible, right? I used to be a lifeguard. I was a sun baby. I loved being out in the sun. Now, as I've gotten older, and especially as I've become a mother, I don't leave the house. Like, I mean, you gotta smear that stuff on. Sunglasses, big hat. I am that woman at the pool. I think it's really important now, and we need to make pale cool.
Katie, I see you shaking your head.
Well, I'm like, tanning beds are still a thing. I mean, I know in the 90s it was huge. They were in every strip mall, and you had like the sticker you'd put on. But I'm like, people do that today? Because, you know, my tan's in a bottle. But I'm like, Susan, sunscreen, hat, glasses, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, cancer's really, it's nothing to mess with.
Yeah.
My father was a house painter for years and years, and he didn't wear sunscreen, and he wore a hat, he wore a baseball cap, but he still got skin cancer on his face. He's had at least 4 surgeries at this point, when they thought it was gonna take 1.
Yeah.
You know, it's not a laughing matter. That's a surgery on your face.
Yeah, absolutely. And people of color, you know, I was born with this amazing tan, by the way.
Gorgeous.
But people of color, especially African Americans and Latino folks with darker skin, get skin cancer because we think we don't need sunscreen. So this is an everybody thing. Gen Z, stay out of the tanning bed, please. Okay. All right. Our second topic is mammograms. This week there has been new guidance to come out to say that 50 is no longer the age to start getting regular mammograms. You need to start at 40.
That's right. I had a lumpectomy in '07, so I was in my younger 30s when I started getting annual mammograms. So I think it's also important to note, even though they changed it from 50 to 40, you know your own body, and it's important for you to learn about your body. And I found the lump on a self-breast exam. If you were in your 30s and you find a lump, you need to go and get scheduled for a mammogram. It's not anything you want to mess with.
No, and those self-breast exams are so important. That's how you discovered yours. Something that is missing in a lot of this information that we talk about is people who are adopted, who don't have a family history. From what I understand, it's not always the family history that pushes that, but it can be.
Right.
So if you don't know a family history, if you don't have any kind of baseline, I think it's really important to do those exams because you have to know your body.
Yeah.
That's
Absolutely.
a really good point. And that's something I hadn't even thought about until you brought it up. You know?
We get left out of that conversation a lot, you know, talking about hereditary things and talking about past medical history, which is very important in some medical conditions, but as adopted people, we have to take a little time to think about that and to think about what we know and what we don't know.
Yeah, absolutely. That's why we have you at the
Especially
table.
with insurance too. I mean, take advantage if you're paying insurance, you know, through your company. Most people. And so, I mean, if you're paying for it, go. It's an annual thing. I always thought it was 40, so I was like, I saw that, I was like, oh, well, I'm ahead of my time.
Absolutely. All right, so next topic. For many, the cost of buying tools to do things around the house and fix up things like Katie does, you know, that's expensive. So this is like the coolest thing. Lexington has something called a tool library where you can go check out the tools that you need. It's just started. This is amazing, Kim. You were like so excited about this.
Excited. This is such a cool thing. The membership, first of all, is a pay what you can kind of membership. You become a member and then you can rent out these tools, and they have kitchen stuff, and they have lawn and landscaping stuff and power tools. And I mean, I don't need a belt sander every day. I need a belt sander 4 or 5 times a month. That's it,
That's
you
a
know?
lot.
What are you doing with the belt sander 4 or 5 times a month?
Wouldn't you like to know?
I need a stump grinder.
A what?
A stump grinder.
You guys, remember when Mrs. Calipari was here and she said she needed a lathe?
Lathe?
We need to like call and text
She
her and
needs
tell her
this.
she
We need to
goes
rent one
check
for
it
her
out.
and pick it
Ellen.
up.
Oh my gosh.
Go get
okay.
yourself a
All
lathe.
right. Well, we'll let Mrs. Calipari know. All right. Finally, our last topic. So it seems like there are just so many kids who are allergic to peanuts and have really severe peanut allergies. There seems to be, at least the early science says, there is a new medical breakthrough where you can wear a little patch on your arm and it keeps you from having severe allergic reactions. So this could be huge for moms, dads, grandmas, grandpas who have kids with peanut allergies.
You know, my son doesn't have a peanut allergy, but I always, every single year when he starts into the next grade, I always hope and pray that there's not a child in his classroom that has a peanut allergy. It's a tricky thing. My son, actually, I sustain his life with peanut butter. Like, I'm very thankful he doesn't have the allergy. But yeah, a lot of kids do.
But it's not a preventative patch. It just lessens the reaction.
Exactly. That's something very
Okay,
important
yeah.
to understand, that this is not a patch where in a year your kid's going to be eating a lot of peanuts all the time.
Right.
This is meant to lower your reactions should there be an exposure.
Or he's at a birthday party.
Yeah, it makes those
and
reactions
The
a
parents
lot
are
lower.
nervous. They can put it under his shirt.
Exactly.
Yeah,
And it's a daily wear kind of thing. You have
Oh,
to
okay.
keep wearing it, to build up that tolerance. But
Peace
it's-
of mind, if nothing else.
Right.
Nothing else.
For sure.
Which I think is so cool because I remember sometimes they'd have a lunch table in the school for the kids who are allergic to peanuts. They couldn't even sit where they wanted to with their friends because even for some, smelling it, coming
Wasn't
into
safe.
contact, just really, really intense. So I think this is such a cool thing.
It is. All about it.
I'm excited to see more research.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
Guys, guess what? We made it. 4 seconds
3,
left. We
2,
made it. 1. We made it through
We
the
usually
entire countdown convo. Yes, sometimes the bell gets us, and it's a whole problem because we
It
want to
is.
keep on talking. So, all right, everybody, stay with us. Coming up after the break, just in time for the election, our special guest is Fayette County Clerk Susan Lamb. She'll be at the table. Stay with us.
Next ET, J-Lo's big night, and our exclusive behind the scenes of Ben Affleck's new movie.
My daughter was like, that actually looks kind of interesting. That's the best review I could get.
Next ET.
Tonight at 7 on ABC 36.
I'm Abby Horn, Community Liaison for Kenwood and Madison Health and Rehabilitation. And we are so excited to say welcome back to our friends and families. We love welcoming new seniors to our homes and employees to our work family. We are also looking for medical professionals to join our team. Drop by Kenwood or Madison Health and Rehab today for information regarding open positions. Check us out online at kenwoodhealthandrehabilitation.com or madisonhealthcenter.com or find us on Facebook.
My name is Andrew Cooperrider. I'm the Republican candidate for Kentucky State Treasurer. I'm a Christian, a family man, and a small business owner. You may remember me from one of my businesses, Brood, the coffee shop in Lexington that refuses to shut down to Bashir's overreaching mandates. One thing has become very clear over the last several years. Our state government has gotten way too big and way too powerful. As state treasurer, we're going to follow the money to crush corruption and get government out of our lives. So in May, vote for me, Andrew Cooperrider, for Kentucky State Treasurer.
Up your outdoor entertaining game by calling the audio-video experts at Dr. Stereo. Fill your outdoor living space with your favorite music while relaxing with a cocktail or grilling dinner on the back deck. Enjoy a beautiful day outside and still catch the big game. Dr. Stereo has outdoor speakers that blend right into your landscape. If you love music and live in the central Kentucky area, call Dr. Stereo today for an in-home consultation. For sales, service, and installation, call Dr. Stereo today.
Engine 19, let's go!
Through the fire, rise up as the flames getting higher.
We're all in this together.
We're firefighters, and we do it because we love this job.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Let's Talk Kentucky. I am Sherelle Roberts here with the Let's Talk team. We've got Katie Cooley in for Lisa High. We have Kim Dixon and Susan Mills, and we are joined by a very on-brand dressed Fayette County Clerk Susan Lamb. Hello.
Hello.
We are so glad to have you here.
Thank you for having me.
We are glad, and just in time because early voting starts today. And you already swung by. So how's early voting going?
It's going fantastic. We have 9 voting tables set up over at the Kroger Field, and it is gate 11 in the blue field, blue lot. So go park, walk in there and take on, go exercise your right and vote, and we shouldn't have any delay in any lines or anything. It's really exciting. So
yeah, you're making it easy to vote, which is something Kim and I were talking about before the show.
I'd like to ask you, what are some of the obstacles that people face when they can't get to the polls? I know that I've had several times in my life where it's been difficult, but what are some of the things, some of the reasons you see?
Right. I'm learning this, as you all just said. I just took office on February 1st. So what I have learned so far is that people need to know the deadlines. They need to know how to ask for an absentee ballot if they are going to be out of town, or if there is a health reason, or if they're homebound. I had someone email me yesterday and said that they were homebound and they'd already missed the deadline and they couldn't go get an absentee ballot, and there's nothing I can do, and there's nothing anymore feeling helpless.
It sounds like education is a key component.
Education is a huge component, and that's one of the things that I'm going to ramp up on after I get through my first election. You know, it's not a marathon. It's a little skip down the road for right now. But one of the big things I think is just educating, and also knowing that the absentee ballots are so important, and they're really not hard to do, but the directions are lengthy and they are obviously difficult for some people to understand. Then we have the early absentee with an excuse voting that actually happens at our office for 6 days, and that happened this past 6 days, working days. And then of course now we have today and tomorrow and Saturday we have early voting, and anybody can go. You don't have to have an excuse. Go to the Kroger Field and exercise your right to vote, please.
Gate 11.
Yeah, so this is so interesting because people think about election day, but this is like election weeks. And so you said you're learning too, because previous to this, you were a city council member, then you worked at City Hall for a very long time, keeping the city council people in line. I watched you do it for years. Ooh, you kept them in line. So how are you liking this new gig?
Oh my goodness, you know, I didn't know that this was in my next chapter of my life, and basically around December or whenever it was that former county clerk Don Blevins Jr. announced, people started coming to me and said, you should check this out. You should really check this out. And there's been a ton of people. I'm very humbled by it, actually, the number of people that believe in me. And so, you know, short story, I jumped in there, threw my name in the hat, and was appointed. And I thought, oh, you know, it'll be, you know, something I think I like. Well, it is just like a well-fitted glove on me. Oh. I feel like that it was just meant to be. And the wonderful employees there and the managers, they're just phenomenal. They make it easier for me to learn. And of course, you know, the support in the community, it is much more than I ever thought it would be. And I get up every morning, and I used to not have to get up early and go to work at 8 o'clock. You know, with council, you could kind of set your schedule, but I get up and I'm ready to go. I get excited when I'm driving into the office, and I love every single day.
Do you have, like, speaking of getting up and going to work and doing that, do you have a typical day? Or is there's a lot of pivots, right?
Oh my, that is such an understatement. The pivots, I mean, every single day you could imagine that you're going to have probably 10 different things that are going to come to your attention of all different magnitudes and levels of importance. So I think that's one reason why I love it so much, because while I was on council, we did pivot a lot too, but this is just different and unique in its in the opportunities, and so really and truly every day is it's not the same. It's just, I mean, and it's amazing, and just helping people. You know, Sherelle, you know, that's one thing that I learned when I was in local government. I learned that what I am put on this earth for is to provide resources to people to let them know how to navigate our local government and our local processes, so they can not only be educated in their decision making, but be a part of it, because it's so important. So, you know, I've been talking a lot about what to expect on Election Day. It's going to be a very early day and a very late night. And while the ballot this time is very small, I'm very grateful for that, because that way I can actually learn on based on that. But I'm just like, I don't even know if I'll be able to sleep the night before.
You know what?
It might be a 36-hour journey or something, I don't know.
So Election Day, I am like such a politics nerd. Election Day is my Super Bowl every time. Everybody knows I get so hyped up. I go work out. I get so excited about it. But, you know, you coming into this job right now is something, because all around the country, people are having questions about the validity of our elections, the safety of our elections, the security of our elections, and that endangers our democracy. So what's kind of your goal for moving through that with folks with so much misinformation out there about elections?
Right. Well, first and foremost, my integrity is everything to me, and I said that from the get-go, because those that know me, and know me well, that know that I'm probably one of the most honest people that you'll ever meet. And so that's my front. And then secondary is that just know that once I am learning through this to figure out new ways to share more information and just to shout the word out. I mean, just to shout out the processes. And, you know, it's, when I was on council, actually when I was in the council clerk's office, and I implemented the voting system and the video streaming and everything in our council chamber, we saw the opportunity to start having mock council meetings. Well, you know, those opportunities are something that most people never ever come into a council chamber, much less participate in a council meeting. And we have all age ranges from elementary school all the way up to adult seniors that we have taken through mock council meetings. Well, I see that same type of opportunity with our county clerk's office, with our processes. And I love it because, you know, I want to let people know. We've had 2 days that we've already started opening up absentee ballots. And the biggest thing I take away from that is there are multiple envelopes within the process of absentee ballot. But if one of those envelopes is not sealed, we have to reject that ballot.
Yeah,
and
it's such a complicated process.
It
and
is.
We want people to be educated about it. And that's why we're so glad to have you on today. And I'm so excited for you. I've always had great respect for you in all your positions. So thank you so much, Fayette County Clerk Susan Lamb, for being with us today.
Thank you all so much. And thank you all for what you're doing for our community,
Thank
too.
you.
Yes.
All right, everybody, coming up after the break, we all have a good excuse to eat and drink whatever we want for the next few days. I'll tell you why. Stay with us.
Jonathan Shell, not conservative. Shell was director for a group promoting race-based hiring and suggested police not focus on drugs. Shell fights for Biden. The conservative is Richard Heath. Heath's a Trump Republican fighting wokeism. Richard Heath, Agriculture Commissioner.
Mark Metcalf, one tough conservative. He prosecuted illegals committing immigration fraud. He's cut waste from government and kept the woke agenda at bay. Mark Metcalf, veteran, prosecutor, Trump Republican, and Biden's worst nightmare. Metcalf for treasurer.
I'm Kayla No, and I love working at Sayre Christian Village.
Everyone's so involved. The staff's involved. We're all a team. Even the family's a team here.
The love that you have for them is just like your own family.
We want to take the best care we can of our residents.
It makes you want to do more and go above and beyond.
This year, say yes.
I couldn't be more thrilled with my results. I'm over the moon happy. Look at that waist.
Yes to confidence.
I'm so happy. I just put this dress on that I haven't worn in over 10 years.
Yes to a new shape.
These are my results. I am so happy.
Yes to a new you.
I'm Dr. Elena Vega. Imagine you could remove this much fat from multiple areas all at one time.
Sono Bellows board-certified surgeons use micro-laser technology to safely target and remove your diet-resistant fat cells for good.
I have the flattest tummy
that I've had in 25 years.
I'm able to wear things that I never thought I would wear again.
I can wear a little black dress. I feel sexy.
Find out how you can get $250 off with our New Year exclusive offer. Call 1-888-389-3370 or go to sonobello.com.
Hey everybody, I'm Sherelle Roberts and welcome back to Let's Talk Kentucky. So we like to end up every show with talking about what in the world is trending, and today I am so excited because what's trending today is National Eat Whatever You Want Day. I don't know who came up with this, but they are a genius, Susan.
Pizza, extra cheese, all the toppings, extra large.
Period.
Period. For dinner.
So you guys get out there and enjoy whatever you want to eat and be thinking about what you want to do with Mama for Mother's Day. And speaking of that, we've been talking about our Mama Makeover contest for a couple of weeks now. You have been entering and we now have a winner. Are you guys ready? The winner is Marsha Wall from Nicholasville. Congratulations, Marsha! And we are joined by Jill Wesley from Jolie Salon to give us a really fast explanation about what you just won.
Well, total salon spa experience. They'll get cut and color, waxing, facial, spray tan, the works.
All of that.
So yeah, it's up to a $465 value.
Wow.
Based on what they want to get. So
Marsha's a lucky lady.
I know, so
Yeah.
congratulations to Marsha. And we will be reaching out to you so that you can get your prize.
Yep.
And finally, we like to end every show by recognizing a woman in the community who is making a difference. We call her the woman we're talking about. And today's woman we're talking about is Carol Seiler. She is the executive director for Women Leading Kentucky, a nonprofit org that does all kinds of things for women and young ladies. So Carol, thank you so much for being a woman worth talking about. And you all, thank you for tuning in. Follow us on Instagram at Let's Talk Kentucky, and we will see you tomorrow.